Man of 62 marries 11-year-old girl. See how it happened. The possibility of leaving this world can mess with the heads of many people. The most religious may perceive death as just the exchange of worlds, others may not conform and end up doing stupid things, and still others end up focusing all their energy on making the people in this world even happier. So stay until the end to see the wedding of the 62-year-old man with an 11-year-old girl. Before we start, we have some news for you. We're having a giveaway on the channel for an iPhone as soon as we reach 400,000 subscribers. To participate, you need to: Number 1, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. Number 2, comment using the hashtag #Top10EVT. Number 3, watch until the end because today's video is full of surprises. Like and share this news with your friends. Remember to comment with the hashtag #Top10EVT. Join now because it's totally free and you have the chance to win an iPhone in any color you want. Let's go! There are some cases where people we love die and leave us surprised, sad, and indignant for a long time. But some people do everything to make their last moments true positive memories that their relatives will cherish until the end of their lives. One of the cases that drew the world's attention happened in 2014 in the United States. Jim Zetz, a man who was much loved by his community, gained a lot of media attention for marrying his own daughter. But don't be alarmed, the wedding had a much greater meaning than you might be thinking. Jim Zetz had always been very happy. Married for over 30 years to his wife, Jim became completely joyful when he became a father, and even more so when he became a grandfather. Living in California, Jim was always seen as one of the most active members of the community where he lived. In 2003, Jim received the news that he would be a father again at the age of 51. Full of life at the time, Jim was sure he could closely follow every step in his new daughter's life. To do this, he canceled many of his plans so he could be present in his daughter's life at all times. Jim's goal was to make his new daughter the happiest person in the world. If you are a father or mother, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you are not yet, someday you will remember this story when you see your child and you will understand what Jim went through at the time of his daughter's birth. All true parents who love their children do everything to make them the happiest people in the world. In Jim's case, he had a dream that he always talked about to see his daughter get married. Unfortunately, in 2014, Jim received news that completely changed his plans. Jim was informed by his doctor that he was seriously ill. A stage 4 pancreatic cancer was affecting his body. At this stage of the disease, doctors always say that there is no treatment that can be performed, as all other organs were already affected by the disease. The only treatment left was focused on reducing the symptoms and pain that Jim was suffering from. In conversations with the doctor, Jim found out that he only had a few more months to live. The news surprised everyone, especially because Jim was always very happy, full of life, and fun. Jim was very sad about the news, especially knowing that he could no longer be present in his daughter's most important moments. Since Jim had a wonderful marriage for many years, he always wanted to see his daughter at the altar, celebrating this important moment alongside whoever she chose. But since the young woman was only 11 years old, Jim knew he couldn't be present on this very special date. This news shocked everyone who knew Jim, but one person did something special that will remain in everyone's memory. A photographer who was much beloved in the community, named Lindsay, decided to turn this sadness into a special moment, giving Jim a very special surprise of life. When hired to take Jim's last photos in life, Lindsay sought the help of the entire community to make the moment even more unforgettable. The idea Lindsay had was simple but would leave the moment forever marked in the heart of Jim's daughter. Lindsay organized, along with the entire community, a photo shoot of a young woman's wedding, entirely fake. There would be no groom waiting at the altar, there would be no priest and not many guests, just father and daughter at the altar, in one of the most special moments in any woman's life, the wedding. The photographer managed to keep the surprise until the girl's birthday, which would be in 3 days. With the help of the entire community, the photographer managed to organize a real fake party. She managed to buy a beautiful wedding cake, drinks, a beautiful suit, and also many beauty professionals who made the young woman even more beautiful. The ceremony was very beautiful, and all relatives, friends, and also residents of the region did everything to be present. The whole party was set up in Jim's backyard, who was increasingly confused with all the surprise. Even though the girl was still very young, she already understood the gravity of her father's illness and thus sought to make every moment with him even more special. In fact, when passing with psychologists, Jim and his wife were always warned not to discuss too much with their daughter about the subject, thus avoiding her losing the last moments with her beloved father. So, what do you think? Have you liked this? Have you subscribed to the channel? What do you think about the 62-year-old man's marriage to an 11-year-old? Please leave your comment down below with #top10EVT so we know what you think about this topic. But keep watching until the end to find out more. In the months leading up to the party, Jim had just finished his third chemotherapy session, which many know really affects people's disposition. At 62 years old, Jim still sought strength from something greater to spend his last moments with his daughter in good health. After the third chemotherapy, Jim decided to abandon all treatments in order to dedicate his last second to his family. At the end of the fake wedding, the person in charge of the celebration made everyone emotional by changing the traditional phrase, "I now pronounce you man and wife," to "I now pronounce you father and daughter," bringing tears to everyone present. Jim still managed to spend a few more months with his beloved wife, even taking a few days off to the beautiful Hawaii, which was entirely funded by his community, who really knew how important this farewell trip would be for Jim. Jim certainly enjoyed every moment with the people he loved most, and eventually rested forever a month after his wedding celebration with his daughter. Jim Zetz is still an example to everyone who knew they would leave this world soon, but who took their last moments not to lament or do stupid things, but to create moments of joy for all those they loved. 𝗕𝗏𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, an American who died at the age of 27, also found a very special way to leave a memory in his daughter's memory, who was still a baby at the time. After a 3-year battle against appendix cancer, 𝗕𝗏𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏 understood that he would no longer be present in his daughter's life and recorded a farewell video that brought emotion to everyone who watched it. In the touching recording, Nick emotionally expressed his gratitude for every moment of his life, as he was very happy, and only lamented for those who did not have as many moments of happiness in their lives as he did. Nick passed away 2 months after recording the video, but his love will always be present with his family forever. A third case of love that is stronger than death also happened in the United States. While battling a devastating cancer, Scott Sutton understood that he could not overcome the disease, so he turned his last moments into something special for his son. Scott Sutton wrote the book I Love You Like, which the couple wanted to show their son the extent of the love they felt. The book became very well known to all relatives and friends, and 2 months after it was written, it was already published and began to be sold throughout the United States, including online. All the money raised from the book was and will be used for Scott's son's education, who is now almost 10 years old and has already been able to obtain resources to stay in college, only with the book sales. Parents are truly capable of anything to see their children happy, even dedicating their last moments in this world. Would you do the same? All of these stories teach us that love can continue even after a tragic loss. Did you like our video? What did you think of this story? Please leave a comment below. If you liked this video, watch the next video, which will be people you would never believe exist. Give us a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because your contribution is very important to us. Share this video and leave a comment with the #top10EVT. Deal? Now check out these super interesting videos that are appearing here on the screen. If you're on your cell phone, these videos might not show up on the screen, but the links are down below in the description of this video. Click on one of them and have fun.